Hey yo, I wanted to explain stuff on Slayer I don't see many people really do, with the first being Slayer's Strike Throw. I don't see many people representing this option, since they see Dandy Step as the essence of Slayer's mix, while the other half is just sitting right there, next to it. With Strike Throw, we can really amplify our mental stack and how we can fully abuse this as Slayer. With all of Slayer's mix having decently uniform counters, we gotta think about how we can actually open up our opponent. Well, if our opponent's thinking about 10 other options we've represented, we can watch as a player that counters something and just blatantly respect it. With adding mental stack, we can force players to think about our other options and hit them with the most fake shit possible, like far slash dash forward, dandy step. And with this, we can start getting into the meat of our strike third. Well, with the amount of plus move Slayer has being 3 attributes, it kind of reminds me of an old pressure we used to see in Season 1. We have near the old power of Soul Guy's Far Slash, with only a couple drawbacks. One, we have a multi-hitting Far Slash, so FD affects us a lot more, and we are also fighting 4 years of knowledge on how to fight that move, so it's gonna work a lot less than before. We do have a great frame trap with 5k after Far Slash, or even 2h if you're trying to beat 6p. But with that, now our opponent has to guess. Will they play it safe, but allow them to get reset by Far Slash into Far Slash? Or try to mash out, but fear getting trapped or even Dandy Step, which we all know where Slayer counter hit goes. With Close Slash, it's kind of our bread and butter with plus frames. It just leads us into all our other cancels. We can go into 6k, we can go into Far Slash, we can go into 6h, which just allows us to go into plus frames into plus frames. Close Slash is just the most versatile way of scoring reset. 6k is one of our more funny options. We can charge 6k and now threaten a lot more strike throw, because if our opponent doesn't mash, we have a lot of time to just click a move. But getting raw 6k is also fine. Being plus 2 allows us to trigger 5 framers with Close Slash, go 2k if we want to trigger 4 framers, and just a very versatile strike throw move that adds a lot of pressure on our opponent. 6h resets really rely on our opponent blocking 6h crouching, which most do, because most fear getting load. If you see this happening a lot, you can have a lot of fun with just going 0 on block, 0 on block, 0 on block instead of -3. But once your opponent catches on and starts blocking 6h standing, it's kind of a dead move when it comes to getting resets. Now with this knowledge, we can start chaining moves that either leave you safe, frame trap, or really even reset your advantage. Letting Slayer build risk or take away meter if your opponent's FDing, and it just gives us a huge advantage. The more our opponent respects, the stronger we are. And now that our opponent's just respecting us purely, we can do a lot more dandy step things, which leads me to either I see Slayers not know how to do this move, use it too little, or use it too much. Let's first talk on how to actually do it. I personally play on hitbox or keyboard. We are just going to copy the bite movement for consistency purposes. We will first do a strider flip, but go to 5. On 5, we will hit dash, and then a couple frames later, preferably faster, but we're still learning, we go to 9 and hit our desired button, whether it be P, K, or heavy slash. Now make sure you learn this on the other side, because it might be different for your hands. For me, I actually do go to 6 and to 9. But other players have other ways to do it, so whatever you find most consistent for you, rock with that. Side note, please get a dash macro for this, it makes it so much easier on your life. Next up is going to be when to use it. Well, it's a bit situational. A lot of the time you see me do it is when I either get a close slash and I want to dash cancel bandy to get a cross up on FDing opponents. During hard knockdown, to make my opponent guessing living hello options, I have like 5. Or as a way to cross up during reset. There's not a lot of use for it in neutral outside of pulling up like Freddy Fazbear and jump scaring your opponent. Defense, you might as well just use Third Blade Dandy, unless you're fighting Ram Rock. There is a counterplay with Kara Dandy that is only Kara Dandy. It gives you so much damage, please learn it. It's essential. And I already covered most of the offensive ones. But what if I didn't? Hey Slayer, cloned here. What if we use our strike through to make Kara Dandy more scary? Well, now that we have our opponent scared of Far Slash 5k, well, you now do this. Yeah, we can kind of just do this now. To be fair, if our opponent FDs the entire string, you will not end up crossing up, but that's just a secret for us. This for some reason makes all the DPs in the game, but you'll lose the mash. You can do this during any situation you let your plus frames carry you. And I know we talked a lot about Dandy, but we should maybe go learn some of the properties of it. Okay, this section's gonna be a bit short, because a lot of these are just kind of known except one. First things first, Slayer's grab Hurtbox and his regular Hurtbox just being displaced near Shrink 1 unless it's the beat setups that usually just catch backdashes or burst setups that require our opponent to make a hard call to catch us if they want to chase us down. And for some reason also allows us to do this. The second property I really wanted to talk about is a bit more interesting, and it's this. Yeah, for some reason Slayer can just leave the game. His hitbox literally follows him off screen, so some setups will just fail outright. To be honest, I don't know why this is allowed when a lot of other rapid backwards momentum moves don't allow this, but it allows for stuff like this. Now that we kind of understand the ins and outs of Dandy Step well, what options do we have when our opponent actually blocks our mix? This is one of my favorite RPS for us to do off Guard Crush. Off so many options, our opponent just has to guess purely against all of our winning options that beat their one losing option. If they don't choose a hyper-specific option against what we're doing, they're just going to die. This part's going to be broken down into 3 sections due to different frame datas, with the first one being Power Bunker Guard Crush is going to be one of your most common Guard Crushes you'll get, since you RC it so often. Best you can do here is be +3, which doesn't change the RPS much, if at all. Warframers trading doesn't really help them since we get a trade combo off it. Besides that, it just follows the next Guard Crush pretty closely. Who will this look Guard Crush? Here we are +4, so Warframers won't trade with us anymore, but it follows the same list as Palbooker. You just have a new frame to kind of play with. But the next Guard Crush one is where it kind of gets really dumb. It's like Guard Crush. You are, drumroll please, yeah, this shit is so plus. We actually have to manually time a lot of our options to make it RPS. But it does make us tremendously safe, and still, it's Guard Crush, no cross-up protection. But with such a huge frame advantage, we actually have a new option open up. Yeah, it's like Guard Crush is so stupid, we get fucking pussies. I won't go into much of it, since a lot of players just get Rising 5K, which doesn't even lead to anything without Universe. And even with Universe, you just get a basic knockdown combo. But what happens with the guys in the JS category? We get a full grounded punish, allowing us to Palbooker Ender or Wall Stomp if you're in that kind of thing. Won't judge. Quick note before we move on, you can do all these fuzzies if your opponent blocks Master Hammer standing as well, so it cuts the 50 meter out of the deal. So if you see your opponent blocking Master's Hammer standing, the biggest mistake I see players making when playing defense as Slayer is not hand dooming some of the easiest moves to backdash, or just hand dooming the close slash, which you're probably going to get punished yourself because you have time to block. I'm going to use an example from Geo Stagger Pressure. Geos usually like to close slash 2S into Stagger 5H into Dog Kick, which leads us to, we can backdash their 5H and hand doom it to end their pressure early and force them to play an RPS situation. We are sadly -4 on hit, but still it's more favorable RPS than fucking getting kicked out to a unfavorable space. This move will kind of take your MU knowledge to a high, because some of the MUs, this move just kind of sucks. Other MUs, this move is essential to it. Like, if we look at Chaos, this move is just completely essential to actually beating this guy on defense. Another thing is with Hand Doom, if you have meter, it's just safer to go for it every time. We actually don't follow the DPRC rule. We can just Hand Doom RC every time we do it. There is one other instance of Hand Doom being useful, with moves that make our backdash more minus. due to having a 28 frame backdash, we have some instances where if we do backdash it, we're like -6 or something. So we rather just hand doom it. For example, we have Gold Lewis using the Healer's Typhoon. When we backdash it, we are -6, but if we hand doom it, we're just gonna be -4 instead. This kind of leads back to my first thing about mental staff, where if we hand doom everything, they're gonna start calling it out, or think if we delay it slightly, they're gonna get a huge punish. So we can just start purely backdashing things and actually ending up in the -6 situation, but still be allowed to mash on them. We also have a fourth option with backdash if we have meter, which is being... We are the weird case of being a grounded backdash, so we actually can do a lot of things that other characters can't. Like we can backdash RC grab, backdash RC 2H, or even backdash RC close slash. With this, we can kind of go into auto time dandy if they do block our 2H or close slash into an uninteractable 50-50. Which kind of puts us in a very similar situation as my final thing I want to talk about. I already made a really in-depth video about this, so a lot of what I'm saying here is just going to be repeating. Fight PRC is one of the most broken things I don't see Slayers do at all. It makes this fully uninteractable, you can't backdash, you can't ash, you can't even DP it. So what is your opponent supposed to do? I don't know, should have guessed right, idiot. Oh yeah, and YRC caused the meter trim, but they'll never do that, hopefully. Another big thing is if your opponent does guess wrong, well, you're just gonna build that meter back on your combo. If the threats you have here will either just kill or set up a winning mix-up with the 50 meter you've got. Currently I have 2 written down on my hand, but I'm gonna make a Google Doc that will go in the description of this video with the optimals for all situations you can get into. Alright, now that your opponent's blocked the 50-50, now what? Well, fuck them, it's still your turn. You're +2. If you go across the bunker instead of +5, you're +5 for some reason. I don't fucking know. This cross the bunker +5 allows for an auto-time raid, and that shit does not look real, so a lot of people just kind of mash it. So, just abuse it. A lot of people won't know what they're fighting. This shit is just so busted, and no one uses it, no one knows how to fight it, so there is no fighting it. Make sure you just sit in the lab and learn the timing for this. If you want an easier time with the DP bait, 1, look for the reversal words to pop up. And 2, if you want to use 2K instead, it gives you more leniency when it comes to the DP bait, but it'll give you less rewarding hit. The / DP bait is sadly a manually time frame perfect against time frame DPs. I wanted to end this video to just say, have fun with this character. This character is goofy, it has so many things just unplayed around him. Find your own tech and stuff, have fun with them, see if you can hit pro players or even your friends with the shit you make up. He's definitely a powerful character and I won't be dropping him anytime soon. And I'm gonna keep pushing him to the limit. Alrighty, that's it for me. Clone down.